Yeah, good morning, all. Welcome to Goa MuleSoft Meter. Today's topic is going to be a very interesting topic that will be MFA integrating Google Authenticator in Mule4. Okay. So before dive into our actual agenda, so let me introduce Goa Meetup leaders. We have Gaurav Dubey, myself, and Vinay Kumar. So Gaurav Dubey, he is a MuleSoft mentor as well as a Goa and Nagpur Meetup leader. He is working as a senior consultant at Capgemini Australia. And we have Vinay Kumar. Vinay Kumar, he is working as a senior consultant and he is also a MuleSoft mentor and a Goa meetup leader. And myself, I'm Vandana Gowda. I working in Gensa Technology as a senior software engineer. I'm also a MuleSoft mentor as well as a Goa meetup leader. So if you are interested to be speaking Goa meetup, please let me know either in a Slack channel or LinkedIn. So I'm really happy to host you guys. And today's speaker is Nasim Khan. So, Nasim, you can introduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah, thanks, Vandana. Yeah, myself Naseem Khan. So yeah, I am working in Cognizant as a technology architect since 4 years. I joined Cognizant 2020, and before that, yeah, I was working in Dubai in Commercial Bank of Dubai. So total, I'm having 13 plus years of IT experience, and in MuleSoft, yeah, specifically 6 plus years. I'm holding MCD Platform Architect and Integration Architect certification. Yeah, I'm
Thank you
looking
so
forward to
much.
speak. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you so much, Nasim. So, you can start agenda and you can share your screen and start your agenda.
Sure.
Let me stop sharing. Yeah, you can share your screen.
I'm sharing.
If anyone have any question, please let us know in chat. Okay.
Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, we are able to see your screen.
Okay, yeah.
And can you please click that hide one down?
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so as Vandana already, introduced meetup leaders from Goa, so I'll move into the next one. Yeah. So today's topic is, Google MFA, how to integrate multi-factor authentication in MuleSoft. As we know, security is the core thing. In if I know, I mean, if you are having anybody, as architect, so you must be doing RFP, right? So in RFP, security is one of the most, important topics. So we should expose it to the client. So how we are going to integrate, security. So MFA is, additional layer of security, like apart from any, client ID enforcement or OAuth or JWT. So this is the very important topic as far as security is concerned, because the data is, flowing through the API and it is being transmitted from one system to another system. So as data is very sensitive, so we need the security aspects, right? So today's agenda is, I'll talk about the security, and I'll talk about multi-factor authentication. So that is the additional layer of security, and how we can configure and connectivity with Google Authenticator in MuleSoft API. So for this, I have developed a custom connector to generate and to validate the token. So this is nothing but a, it's like an OTP, right? So I think everyone we are, I mean, working on a project. So we must be logging to client VDI. So there must be a second layer of authentication as well. Either we are using Microsoft Authenticator or any other provider. And then, yeah, I'll talk about this custom connector, how we can make use of it for generation and validation of the token. And I'll demonstrating on the working with working example, right, in the MuleSoft Anypoint Studio. And then if you have any questions, so you can please feel free to ask. Yeah. So yeah, I'll move on. So this is, I mean, this This is all about the security. So as we know, we must be implementing other like basic authentication, or we have, we must have applied um, policy, client ID enforcement policy, and any other form of security, right? So security is very important things when we develop an API. It ensures, robust paramount, and MuleSoft API always handle sensitive data, right? Suppose if we are working in BFS projects in banking domain, we all have, I mean, all related to account details and everything, credit card informations, and any other sensitive data. So we need this security, otherwise the data can be I mean, it's very sensitive, right? So it can be unauthorized access to lead to severe, consequences. So, and it definitely, I mean, if we don't have proper security of APIs, so we must, we may lose trust and reputation from our clients. So, and it is not compliance as well, right? So yeah, so in order to implement this security, we can have additional layer of authentication, which is we can make use of it, right? So the importance of security in MuleSoft APIs, in not in on MuleSoft APIs, but if we develop API in any other technology, so security is one of the core thing, right? So the importance is like data protection. It protects the data, and it compliance, and we can have trust and reputation of the clients, because client specifically they ask for, I mean, what are the capabilities you can offer to us in terms of security. So that's the reason why many of the BFS clients, they go with on-prem deployment model, not the cloud hub deployment model, right? And we have risk mitigation as well. So in data protection, yeah, we can say that it prevents unauthorized access to sensitive data that is being transmitted via APIs. And when it comes to compliance, yeah, it meets regulators requirements. And if we have those security mechanism in place, so we can secure customer trust by demonstrating a commitment to data security. And we can have risk mitigations that reduces the likelihood of breaches, and and protecting against potential financial and reputational damage or loss. Yeah. So yeah, so MFA for Mule APIs, right? So as I already explained, that MFA adds and it's an additional layer of security, right? So suppose if we already get authenticated using our user ID and password, so again, if we implement this MFA, so it requires user to input any OTP, like OTP for verification factors, to access to get into the APIs and to access the data. So it mitigates risk associated with compromised credentials, right? Suppose user ID and password can be you know exposed, and if we have mobile and this OTP requirements, so then we can have additional layer of security that is more protective. So the implementation, like we must be knowing that if we log into any platform, we must be knowing that MFA configuration is there, and there is another way to implement MFA to integrate using the customer connector and for APIs, right? So in any platform, it's already built in. And if we need to have additional layer of security for our APIs, apart from any basic authentications or client ID enforcement or JWT or auth, so we can integrate MFA for our API consumers. So this is how it works. Like first, it will ask you for user ID. Suppose we have implemented basic authentication, so it will ask user ID and password to log in. And then once it is authenticated with the basic authentication, then it will move to next MFA layer. So that will ask for your OTP, which you will get in Google Authenticator or any other MFA provider. So once it gets authenticated, then you will get into your actual um, API's implementation. Yeah. So until here, any questions?
No question, Master.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So the advantages of implementing MFA, as we, no, I already explained. So it enhanced security and compliance, and then user trust as well. So the client will definitely, if we do RFP, and so we showcase, okay, what capabilities we can offer as a service based company. So if we do RFP for any engagement, so we are exposing, we are showcasing that, okay, what capabilities, what accelerator, what security mechanism we can offer to the client. So it enhanced security. So in as security, yeah, it provides, it protects against credential theft and attacks. And for compliance, yeah, it satisfies regulatory requirements, right? If we have any regulatory regulation, so for a strong authentication mechanism. And yeah, for user trust, we can say it builds confidence in the system by ensuring sensitivity of operations are protected. So these are the basic advantages of implementing MFA in our Mule APIs. Yeah. So now I'll go for demonstration. So let me just stop this. So for this, this is Anypoint Studio. So for this, I have written a code in Java, right? So that is for generating the customer connector for generate and validate. So it uses the algorithm which Google's authenticator uses. So I'll request anyone, once I'll showcase this when I test it. So I'll just request anyone to install Google Authenticator from Play Store if you have Android. And it requires to you have to give four pair of keys, four pair of keys with four characters, except digits, like this. So you need to register, and then whenever you open this Google Authenticator, it will generate a unique six-digit code. So that will test with that generated code. And if we enter wrong code, then it will show invalid token. If we enter the correct code as per the generated token, so then it will show the validation. Okay, validation successfully. So first I'll go with this in Java, this connector. So it will have two functions. That is, first one is generate. So it will generate if we don't need to validate. Suppose there might be use case that we don't need to validate the token, but we need to generate the token. Two, suppose if we need to generate the token, and that generated token, that response will have to pass to some other APIs. So this is a generated token. So we'll have I have used this generate TOTP with the hex key. So it will generate, and the validation. So once the token is generated, so we are just matching, okay, whether generated token and the entered token is uh, um, equal. So if it's equal, then we are just sending this response that as okay, validation successful. If it's not equal, then invalid token response will be propagated. So I have kept this Java code here in my Bitbucket. So I have made it public. So if you want, you can download the code over here. So once you download the token, download this Java code to your repo. So suppose I have my workspace over here. So I've downloaded and kept it under Mule for Google MFA Java folder. So what you need to do, you just need go there to the root directory where you have downloaded this Java code from the Bitbucket. So you just need to build. So using the maven command, mbn clean install. So what it will do, it will build your Java code, and it will uh, generate the jar file, right? The jar file will go into the maven repo .m2 repo wherever you have configured. So let me just build it. So once this jar is generated, so then we have to add the dependency using pom.xml. So I have built it 104 version. So this 104 version will be generated if build is successful. Yeah. So build is successful. We can go to this root directory as well, where I have configured this maven m2 repo or gmul consulting. This is C users or gmul consulting. Yeah, here. Earlier I have generated with 103, so I made some changes. So now it's 104 version generated, right? So now this is the simple POC I have created. So what I did here, yeah, to add the dependencies, right? So here I have added this dependencies. ORG consulting is the directory, and this is the artifact ID, and version is 104. So once it is being added, and if we save it, so it will download the jar, and then it will add into this project. So we have this Google MFA connector. So it is having two, generate and validate. So now what I am doing here, so this is simple listener I have taken, and I have kept this request payload in this variable. Okay, because generate, if we generate this, if we use this generate connector, so the response will be stored in the payload. So just to retain my original payloads, I have just kept into on this variable, and attributes as well I have kept. So in attributes, I am passing validate flag if we need to validate, or if we just need to generate the OTP. So if validate is passed in the headers as true, so it will go into this subflow. So it will validate with the input payload, input token, and the generated token. So if it is validation is successful, then I'm just setting this token validated successfully, custom payload. And if it is not validated, if it is not correct OTP entered by the user, then it will raise the error. And it will raise error, and then it will show this invalid token in the response. So this is very, simple example. Anyway, if we need, if we suppose, if we have use case like first we have, implementing this basic authentication. Then after that basic authentication is successful, then we can implement this layer of security. So this is just to showcase, okay, this functionality only. So yeah, now I'll go for this test. So let me just deploy this locally. if we don't pass, validate as true in the headers, so it will just generate the token, and then it will show in the response. The response will be only generated token. So I have installed this Google Authenticator, and I have registered with this key which I am passing here, Mule Khan code base. Okay. Yeah. Now it's deployed. So let's say this is the old code. So if I send it, it is invalid token. Now I'm just opening my Google Authenticator. So it is 949084. Yeah, token validated successfully. Now this token is that it expired. Yeah, now it's expired. If I send it again, so it will show this invalid token. And if I, yeah, so it is linked with the this account. When we are registering this in Google Authenticator, so we have to provide this four words. Without no digit is accepted. So if we register, so then it will generate every minute it will generate this token, 6-digit token, so that we can input into this body, and then we can validate. So either we can send it into this body or in headers as well, and whatever it is feasible for us according to the use case. And this is just I have added in the headers. So if we can pass in headers or param as well. So that is it depends on us, right? So apart from this account and code, yeah, we can send any other request body as well, so in any other format. So this is just to either we can send this code into headers or in body. So that depends on our use case. So yeah, and if it is it is propagating, if we are not providing this correct token, so it is propagating this invalid token error. So we can just log in this error as well. mm, I think, yeah. So this is the demonstration. So anyone is having any questions, please feel free to ask. You can download this Java code from here. So this is public repo I have created, and then once it's downloaded, then we have to build, and then you can add the dependency into our project, Mule project. So if you know any guidance, so I have written this article as well. So that is also very useful if we need to.
So we have one question.
Yeah,
Like
please.
once we give the code,
Mm-hmm.
I mean 6-digit code. So
Mm-hmm.
what it generate and what is validate?
So this is the user input, right? So either we can put any key field like token, code, and anything. So if we provide this code, so here if we comes, it is stores into this original payload variable. So in this variable we have uh, this code, right? User input code, like in this case 949,084. Then it generates automatically using this Java code, and this generated code, this the response will be stored into payload, right? So this payload will transmitted here. If we have validate equals to true, so then it will come here. So in when it invokes this validate connector, so where we are passing this key is the user input key, this one, right? And the code is whatever user has entered in this one. Inbound TOTP means inbound. What is inbound? What is user is sending, and then invalidate in this connector. So whatever is generated from this connector, so the response of this connector is stored into payload, right? Into payload. So the response of this, and then it will match this with this value. If it matches, then it will validate it successfully. If we don't send any code, it will not validate, never, because it will not match with this one and the generated token. Did you get it?
Yeah, I hope Teja got answer. And Gokul, you want to ask anything? I enabled your mic.
Yeah, please feel free to ask.
Gokul, you are not audible.
Maybe he is speaking in mute.
Maybe.
Okay, and yeah, he's saying no questions.
Teja, I given access to you as well. If you have any question.
Thanks, Vandana. Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear.
Hi, Nasim.
Yeah, hi.
Uh, so, generate and validate, right? Whatever we have given 6-digit code,
Mm-hmm.
so it will what it generates. I mean, the under the hood, you will be interacting with Google Authenticator. I mean, what it generates, and generally it
Mm-hmm.
could be a token from generate connector, and whatever
Correct.
the token we got, so
Mm-hmm.
we are validating against what. So that was
Okay,
my
okay,
question is.
okay, yeah. So in generate, we are passing this key. I have just named it as account. So account is this one. So account in generate connector, it takes account value. So whatever is being passed in under this key account, so based on this, it generates the token. This is not related to generate one.
Okay.
Okay, this is just a user input to validate. So this connector will generate the token based on this account. Okay, so suppose it generates 1 2 3. Okay, now it generates 1 2 3. Let's say it should be 6 digit, but yeah, I'm just taking assuming it's 1 2 3. Now I have sent an input like 949,084. So when it comes to validate, so in validate we have two values. The first one is the generated one, which has been generated by the system. In this case, it's 1 2 3. Now it is validating against this generated token and with the user input token, which is 949,084 in this case. So it matches 1 2 3 equals to 949,084. it's not matching, right? So it will propagate invalid token. So in generate, it's system generated token, and user input token is validating is being matched with this generated token.
Got it. Got it. So where this API will fit, Nasim? I mean, so let's take AWS console where you will be
Mhm.
giving respective whatever code, and it
Mhm.
will authenticate respective user, right? So,
Correct, correct.
so where this API will fit in our Mule ecosystem, if you want
In
to.
Mule, yeah, 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 correct. So in Mule ecosystems, let's suppose we have developed an API,
Okay,
okay? So which needs to be, given the access to a certain audience. It's not suppose I mean, we have this Salesforce agent force, this login credentials. So we have this event code, right? So event code is only applicable those whoever, I mean, want to access this agent force page. So they are given this event code. So only those persons can access uh, that page, right? So in the same way, if we have developed an API which needs to be accessed by a uh, certain team or certain, organization. So in the same, we have, we can integrate this MFA to authenticate with the given account, with this given account. So suppose if we have given everyone, I have given, okay, you have to register with this given account, and based on that generated token you can access our API. So to provide the access to a certain audience, you know we can implement this,
got it.
like we are.
How account will be linked to respective APIs? I mean, this account has access to
Okay, okay,
this
okay,
API.
okay, okay. Yeah, got it. So suppose we have, in API led connectivity we have multiple layers, right?
Yeah.
So in experience layer is exposed to the client, and we have suppose process layer and multiple systems, downstream systems, we have system layer. So in experience API we can implement this so that when it gets authenticated, only then it gets into process and different system API. So in the first instance itself it gets authenticated using MFA, so that certain audience can get into our process API or system API to access any downstream system. Otherwise, if we implement this in every system API, it's redundant, right? So it should be in common at common layer.
Okay. So
Got it. Hmm.
yeah, account should be registered somewhere. So in order to access by this API,
Yes,
is there any
yes,
kind of thing?
yes. So while we are suppose if we are the one who are implementing this authentication, right? So
Yeah,
we can put certain this account into any property field as well. Any property we can read it from the property. So suppose we can, if we want to have, account different account for dev environment or production environment, so we can have this and the property, and then we can share this account with the users
users.
in
Okay.
in the form of QR code nowadays. I mean, we are not sending anything in the plain text. So in the form of QR code, yeah, we can
So
give it
whatever
to,
they send the respective six-digit code, so we will be
that will
validating
get validated.
under the
Yeah,
hood the generate and validate, right?
correct.
Got it. Yeah. Thanks for the clarification, Nazim.
Yeah, thank you.
How do you? Hello.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes, Edward.
Just quick question.
yes,
Now
please.
I'm just trying to figure out uh, whether it's a problem or not. Because when I was younger, I used it to to interpret multi-factor authentication like something that that requires something else than information in order to authenticate. But
Hmm.
now, what I see that when you have this account string, so it means that you will be able to regenerate your authentication code, and
Hmm.
there is no need of physical device or something physical for your client, or like multi-factor is not only physical device, it may be your fingerprints or something else.
Yeah, I got it. I got your question. You are asking why do we need to, why do we need to register in Google Authenticator, right, to generate the code when we can generate from here? That's what your questions, right?
Well, that's an interpretation of my question,
Mhm.
but the
Mhm.
question is actually whether it is multi-factor or it is just additional password.
It is no, it is multi-factor. So suppose we are the one who are developing an API, right? And if I expose this API to the on the internet, and suppose you are using my API, suppose you are using this API, and you need to send the input of your token. So how you will generate without your without registering in the Google Authenticator?
I was keen to understand that you do not need a Google Authenticator because the algorithm is actually available and you can generate this code using this string
Yeah, yeah,
from
yeah.
with Python library or something like this.
Yeah, correct, correct. So this generate, I have just showcasing, I have just showcased to generate the token. But if a layman user is accepting, suppose in the Google, suppose this is suppose if we have integrated this meetups.mulesoft.com with the MFA. So if suppose if someone is using this and he or she has to enter the 6-digit code, so how she will enter? She has to go again in the she has to write a program, and then she has to enter this 6-digit code, right? So without having this Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator, how a layman can generate 6-digit code?
Uh, well, the full
So that is
idea
the
is
UI.
yes, but yeah, you will need some program
Mhm.
in order to
Generate.
generate from
Yeah.
the code from
Yeah.
your account string, let's say.
Correct.
But it means that for every user,
Hmm.
um, it's actually the same algorithm. And if you have passwords and logins of everyone who was actually stolen from this site, you will be able to log in from using all these logins and passwords using just only this string that is actually account number. You call it account number. You understand?
Yes.
You
Yes.
share this among all users. You do not need all users' phones or
Yes.
plastic
Yes.
keys from your company or their retinas or their fingerprints.
Correct. 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 Yeah, yeah. So this is the key input, and that is the account key. This is
So
the key input.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. So it means that it has a big how to explain
Yeah,
big
yeah,
name
I got
of
it. I,
multi-factor, but basically it's a fake.
I got your point. I got your point. So in the same way, suppose if we are accessing our VDI client VDI, right? So that is also after entering the user ID and password. Every employee has been registered with this Microsoft Authenticator to get the 6-digit token, right? And it is registered using my ID, which is registered with the client. So suppose my ID, you have registered with my ID, so you will also get the same 6-digit token code. Correct.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else?
Um, Jayaprakash is asking, is generate step mandatory to before validate?
No. Generate is mandatory to before. For before validation. That is what. Yeah, because it generates the system generated token, right? It is nothing to do with this user input. user input token. So invalidate, it will match with the user input plus with this generated token. It is mandatory.
Yeah. If anyone have any question, it would be glad if you could show a sample API call with a successful status in the restaurant. Vijay Bhaskar asking.
With this one, we'll have to let me. Yeah, this is what you're asking.
Yeah, I hope Vijay Bhaskaran got his. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
Thank you, Nancy. If anyone have any questions, I guess no more question. Um, yeah, thank you so much, Nasim. Thank you so much.
yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
can stop sharing. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you so much all for joining. And it was a more interactive session, not like a one to one. Thank you so much, all. And a special thanks to Nasim. He bring up with a good topic. Thank you so much.
yeah. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you.